I'm curious here, and I know this is just the first step of a process that you were about to outline, that you do this JSA. But let's just focus on this for a second.
Okay.
Who is responsible for this? Is this I know that you're talking about a refinery here a little bit, but let's even move into more construction-based, where maybe we're a home builder, or maybe we're a framing contractor, or a plumber, or whatever it is. Is it the sub that's responsible for their crew? Is it the GC that's responsible for all the subs doing this? What does that look like?
The GC is over the subs. He's actually the one that hires them, right?
Right.
And so he is responsible for them, but the subs also are responsible to be on the same level of training
Okay.
as the GC, okay? And so
I would love to hear from your perspective, Gary, because of my perspective, what percentage of contractors do you think are doing this? Because from my perspective, I'm thinking like, man, you are in the top 1%.
Yeah.
If you're doing this.
I don't.
I agree it's the right thing.
I would say that there's probably 50 to 70%.
Okay.
Depending upon the industry, what industry
Well,
you're
I'd say
in.
in refineries, I've been waiting to say this, but everything you've been talking about sounds really expensive.
It is.
And depending on who you are,
Yeah.
I mean, what size you are,
Yep.
it's just normally, I've been on locations with some machines where you couldn't even go on the location until you finished 2 days of classroom provided by the contractor, I don't know, the GC or what, but you had to you couldn't even go out there.
Right.
And
Right.
so then you had to go through all that. There's some guys digging a trench right outside our window here. I mean, I always notice things like, what do you call the liners for trenches?
Trench box.
Trench blocks,
Yeah.
yeah. And you know, I was kind of going, I don't know, they look like they're doing all right. They're wearing vests and stuff. But I would guess it's, for small contractors, it's vastly less than 50%.
Yeah.
Yes, and
I mean,
that's true.
And
probably.
that's one of the things, we've got all kinds of people listening, but that's one of the things that I really like to tend to by the time we get to the end is if you're just 3 guys, you still got to do it, or you and 2 guys.
You know, there's if you're self-employed or you have less than 10 employees, it's not quite as strict. But the thing is, for me, if you're going to put someone in a situation where they're working in a hazardous job, regardless of whether it's 2 employees or 2,000, they need to be trained and understand what those hazards are and how to mitigate them. Can we eliminate every single hazard? The answer is no, but if we talk about them, if we understand them, then we know how to work with those hazards.
Yeah.
It may have to do with the PPE, the personal protective equipment that we wear. It may have to do with some type of interaction with a piece of equipment, but everybody understands what it's getting ready to do and that sort of thing. But if you talk about the hazards, if you understand the equipment, and I know it's easy for me to say, but whether you got 3 employees or 300, 3,000, you should think of it the same way. We want our folks to go home at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
That's what we're all concerned with. And so some of these things do cost money to do, to get, to maintain. But once you have the program in place, it's fairly easy to keep it going if you dedicate yourself to that.
Kind of a more upfront cost to get started,
Yeah.
and then you can just have a smaller investment that you're continuing to put in to renew it and keep it up to date.
And I think for the folks out there listening, the technology centers offer that.
Which we call technology centers. A lot of places they're VOTECs.
They changed the name to Technology Center probably 20 years ago.
Yeah, here in Oklahoma, but I think they still call them.
But they used to be
community
called
colleges.
VOTECs. But you know, like for instance, Mid-America Technology Center at Wayne. There's Francis Tuttle up here. But those are good resources for businesses, small or large, and they can help you. And the price per hour of training is fairly inexpensive.
Okay.
It really is.
Very good.
And they have, I'm going to say, for the most part, they have good trainers.
And I know that contractors are thinking that a big barrier here is actually language, especially for some of their subs. Are the VOTECs and the Career Center or the Technology Centers offer bilingual training?
They do.
Okay.
They do.
And then it's, I'm assuming, important for your procedures to be both in
You bet.
English and Spanish, right?
Yes, yes,
Which-
and that's, anytime that you have multiple languages, signage should read that way as well. Any type of safety signs that you have, any type of information, you need to be able to have it in the languages that the people speak.
Yeah.